Good day, beautiful people. Good day, beautiful people. We are in the Cayman Islands for our quick mental vacation break and for the intro to this particular module. If you are new to our content, I want to welcome you. We like to start all of our content off with something nice and picturesque designed to get you to dream again. Now, we're talking about an amazing crypto project called Sosana, and this is the second module of a four module series of what I like to call master classes. Now, listen, if you didn't watch module number one, don't worry about it. All right, stay here, watch this second module, module number two. Okay, and then you can always backtrack. All right, you ultimately want to watch all four modules that would be a part of this series so you can really get it. We want to make sure that our community, and our community is anybody who finds value in the way that we share and deliver information. Okay, we want to make sure that you understand it as you undertake it, that you're making a prudent choice for you and your family based on solid information and not just the hype, rah, rah. Okay. We've probably dealt with that too much. All right. And so, yeah, I would love to tug at your heartstrings a little bit. But let's make sure that you're making a prudent choice, yay or nay, that makes sense for you and your family after you've gotten the proper information. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Sosana taxes. You will hear me say this a lot. I love my Sosana taxes. And so we're going to talk about that as module two, but let's do a quick review of module one just to kind of catch up a little bit, and then we'll go into module two. We're going to talk about today the voting apparatus, which is really what sets Sosana apart from any other crypto project that I've seen out there. I have certainly not seen this voting apparatus with any other project. And it is the solution that Sosana is bringing to the marketplace. My multimillionaire mentor taught me this. He said, if you want to get, he said, rich. He said, if you want to get rich, find a problem in the marketplace and bring a solution to that problem. And if you can identify a problem in the marketplace, bring a solution to that problem, he said, you can get rich. Well, let's just see. Just maybe, perhaps, all of my disclaimers. Let's not say rich, but let's say you may do exceptionally well for you and your family. All right, let's go to work. Okay, so once again, I want to make sure that we do these modules in a way that they stand on their own 2 feet. So we need to understand something about Sosana, okay? And what is going to fuel what we're going to be able to do in terms of bringing a solution to the marketplace or solutions to the marketplace of the cryptocurrency world. Okay. So now, with every transaction in Sosana, whether someone is buying the Sosana token, someone is selling the Sosana token, or someone is transferring the Sosana token. So let's say that I'm transferring some Sosana token to a family member of mine. All right. I'm going to be using the Phantom wallet. Let's say I'm transferring that to their Phantom wallet. All right. Or maybe some other wallet. Even a transfer, there's going to be a tax. There's going to be a 3% tax on all buys, sales, transfers. Okay. Now, this is why I'm going to say, as we go through this content, I love my Sosana taxes because it's going to fuel the solution to the problem, and it's going to fuel everything else inside of our ecosystem. Now, we talked about in our last module, give me a moment, just as a way of review. There we go. That Sosana is built on the Solana network. Solana is, as I'm doing this sharing this masterclass, is the number 6 um, uh, blockchain. I'm sorry, the number 6 cryptocurrency asset in the entire space. So we're going to ultimately go to coinmarketcap.com in the space of this module. And we're going to see that the entire cryptocurrency space is nearing a $4 trillion space as I'm doing this masterclass. Okay. And Sosana, out of all of the cryptocurrencies, and there's thousands of them out there now, okay, Solana is number 6. Okay. That's a big deal. Now, one of the challenges is, or one of the great things about Solana that has propelled Solana is the fact that it's a blockchain, all right, that other projects are built upon. So Sosana is built upon the Solana blockchain. Okay. Now, one of the good things that has become a challenging thing for Solana is that the expenses to do business on the Solana network are so minuscule. All right. So you would think, man, that's a good thing. Very, 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 very low fees. But the bad thing is it has attracted bad actors. And these bad actors set up these bots that are designed to go into projects and to basically bleed something called liquidity. If you don't fully understand liquidity, don't worry about it, because that's going to be a topic in this 4-module series. We're going to talk about liquidity pools and why they're so important to decentralize financial projects, DeFi, all right, like Sosana. So Sosana is built on the Solana network. Okay. Now, so what typically happens, and we cover this in an entire module, this is quick review, is you have all these projects coming onto the Solana network with very little fees. Then you've got bad actors that don't mean those projects any good, that create these bots that come in and basically they suck the life out of the project. All right. They basically steal from the project. Okay. That's what we covered in module 1. So you can always go back to that. Okay. The taxes, the fact that there's a 3% tax going in, 3% tax going out, 3% tax in transferring means that it will not be profitable for the same bots that attack other projects to come and attack Sosana. So that is a way to build in some insulation from the bad guys and the bad guyettes out there. All right. So now with that said, we talked about the trading bots. Again, that's in module number 1. That was a little review. Now let's talk about a huge, huge part of Sosana and the taxes, the 3% tax. So 1% or 1/3 of that 3% tax, so 1 percentage point of the 3%, is going to go into a Degen voter wallet or Degen voter pool. Well, what the heck is Degen? Degen stands for degenerate, and it's kind of a funny thing as it relates to those of us that are participating in the meme coin space of the cryptocurrency space. So that's meant to be funny. Okay. All right. Now you may hear me throughout this content simply saying the voter pool or the voter wallet. If I say voter pool, I say voter wallet, I'm saying the same thing. Okay. All right. So now here is the major solution that Sosana is bringing to the marketplace. I just had someone who was pitching me on a crypto project, and they're really excited about the project. And I took a look out of respect for them. We've done business in the past, and I could not see what solution their project was bringing to the marketplace. And that's the challenge, is that so many projects out there are not bringing real world solutions to the marketplace. And so what we have now is we've got a ton of supply, meaning it's very easy now. I could, you could, we could start our own cryptocurrency project. We could start our own token. All right. It doesn't take a lot to do that. But is it a good project? If I just came up with a token because I could start a token, does that mean it's a good project? No, not necessarily. All right. So now here's what our community, Sosana, will be doing. There's going to be those of us, you don't have to be one of these folks, but you could be. There's going to be folks that are going to be out looking for solid, reputable um, crypto projects to nominate to our community. Okay. So when they did this in beta, the first nomination period, there were 13 different projects that were nominated to our community. Okay. Now, what you and I are going to be able to do, whether we nominate or not, we're going to be able to vote on those projects that were nominated. All right. So let me give you a good example. I have a dear buddy of mine who has launched his own crypto project, and he actually has real utility. He's bringing a solution to the cryptocurrency world. All right. Now, it hasn't gotten a ton of traction just yet. All right. So he's developed the platform. He's developed the goods. All right. And his ability to deliver the goods. Right now, he just needs more eyes to his project. Okay. All right. So his project may be a project that would be nominated. So when they did this in the beta phase, the first voting, there were 13 different nominated projects. All right, and maybe you didn't nominate any of them. That's okay. All right. Now, if you hold at least $50 worth of Sosana in your wallet, you, me, we will be able to vote on the nominated projects. So we'll be able to look at each of the projects that were nominated and say, I think this one right here, I think project number 3 is the best project. Okay. Now, what's the purpose of this nominating voting apparatus? All right. It is to help weed through the riffraff. It is to help weed through the crap. Okay. Now, are there still going to be projects that are nominated or projects that are voted on, that are crap? Sure, that's likely going to happen. But the whole idea is that as our community grows and grows and grows, what will happen is that nominated projects will rise to the top, and especially those projects that win the vote. In other words, let's say I'm going to say 10 projects that have been nominated for this cycle. This is going to happen to start every 2 weeks. So there are 10 projects, all right, that have been nominated. You, me, we go through looking at the projects. I vote, you vote, we vote. And the community, let's say, has weighed in, and the number 3 project, whatever that project happens to be, is the project that wins the vote, meaning more people in our community voted for project number 3 in our example than any of the other projects. Okay. All right. So that's the voting apparatus. Now, why is that important? Because what this begins to do is it begins to weed out, again, like I said, the riffraff. And so that the cream can now rise to the top. This also allows now a synergistic relationship between Sosana and the projects that are being nominated, and particularly the projects that win the vote. As a matter of fact, when they did this in beta, and unfortunately I was not a part of beta, but I'm so excited to be right here as 2.0 is launching. Okay. So I'm actually doing this before 2.0 has launched. All right. So in any event, what happened was the developer of the project that actually won that cycle, the developer got real excited. Why? Because what happened and what happens is 1% of every transaction. Remember, there's 3% taxes, 1% of every transaction in the Sosana ecosystem. Someone buys Sosana, someone sells Sosana, someone transfers Sosana. 1% of the 3% is going to go into the voter pool, the voter wallet. And again, I'm saying the same thing, voter pool, voter wallet. I'm saying the same thing. Okay. So then what happened was this. So, and this will happen at the end of every voting cycle. Sosana will then take that 1% of every transaction that goes over to the voter pool. So that's going to accumulate. And then whatever project won the vote, Sosana is going to take that entire pool, whether it's thousands, whether it's hundreds of thousands, whatever it may be, and it's going to go and then buy tokens of the project that won the vote for that cycle. Now, this is where this gets so cool. All right. Okay. So did you get that? Did you get that? All right. Somebody buys Sosana, 3% tax. 1/3 of that, 1% of that 3% goes over to the voter pool. Someone just sold Sosana. What's going to happen? You already know it by now, right? All right. That's 3% tax. All right. 1% goes over to the voter pool. Someone transferred Sosana over to the voter pool. Okay. So you can see that's going to accumulate, right? So now, whatever project it was that won the vote, those that voter pool is going to go and purchase tokens of that project. Could be thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands worth, or even more in time. Okay. Now, what does that have to do with you and me? Two things. Number one, if you, me, we are the ones that voted for the winning project, then those tokens that Sosana purchased from that wallet, from the voter wallet, all right, they're going to divide all those tokens amongst the ones that won the vote or the ones that voted for the winning project, and everybody's going to get their pro rata share of those tokens absolutely free. And the only thing you need is $50 worth of Sosana in your wallet to be able to vote, and then obviously to be able to see who won the vote. Now, I'm going to strongly suggest that you pad your Sosana balance by a little bit more. All right. Although you're going to see and hear 50, I'm going to say at least have $70 or so. All right. Why? Because prices are of Sosana. People are going to be buying. People are going to be selling. Prices of Sosana is going to fluctuate. And if it goes down a little bit and all you had was $50 worth, and now you've got $49.72 worth, well, the system will say you can't vote or you can't see what happened with the vote because you have to have at least $50 worth of Sosana. So I would have you to pad that by, maybe $20 or so. Okay. All right. So the first thing that happens is if you are a winner of the vote, you get tokens of that project that won the vote free of charge. Now, when they did this in beta, they had, and I'm going to show you a video so you can see it for yourself. When they did this in beta, excuse me, there was a little more than $4,000 that had accumulated in the wallet. Again, this was a small group of people, okay? And there were 11 folks that voted for the winning project. So they went and got the tokens of that project, and then those 11 folks shared in the tokens. And what that amounted to, based on what the market price at the time was of that token, was about $370-ish, $375-ish. Now, just think how powerful this is. What if somebody just had $50-ish of Sosana? I'm saying ish because I'm recommending you pad it a little bit. So what if somebody just had $50-ish worth of Sosana? And now all of a sudden they get airdropped, meaning they're the recipient of those tokens that were purchased. They're getting a pro rata share. There were 11 winners, okay? And they received, let's say, $375 worth. How insane is that? And what value does that bring to the marketplace? What value does that bring to a Sosana token holder who, by simply participating in the voting mechanism and apparatus, if we happen to vote for the project that won, we get free tokens? Now, what could a person have done with that? A person could hold on to those tokens because maybe this project, which the community has agreed was a really good project, maybe that project becomes a 10 times project. So maybe if someone held on to that $375 thereabout, maybe that becomes worth in time $3,750. Can't promise that, but can't rule it out either. Maybe that's a really big project or a successful project, all right, or becomes a successful project, and maybe that becomes a 50 times or 100 times. Who knows? But you got the tokens absolutely free. Didn't cost you anything. Now, could a person have sold those tokens? Sure. Sure. Now, I will tell you what I would love to see is people beginning to build their own token portfolio. So maybe you sell some, all right, for usable, spendable cash if you need it, all right. But I would love to see our community, hold on to some of those tokens of the winning project. Because again, what happens if it becomes a 10 times or a 50 times or 100 times? We'll never know, okay? All right, now that's great for the person that voted for the winning project. Somebody who's very analytical and very into math, they hit me on YouTube, and they said, they had gone through some numbers and they had factored, well, if we are doing the voting every 2 weeks and there's 52 weeks in a year, then I might only win so many times, da 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 da. And I was like, oh, dude, do that. Yeah, you missed it. You missed it. All right, you got part of it, but you missed it. So let's cover what this dude or dudette missed. And this is so kick butt. Okay. All right. So now there were 10 projects nominated. Let's say project number 3 won the vote. That's the winner. Fantastic. Go on it. I didn't vote for project 3. You didn't vote for project 3. I voted for project 7. You voted for project 9. Neither one of us voted for the project that won the vote. Okay. Darn it. But, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me tell you what happens. An hour before Sosana takes what has amassed in that voter wallet over the last 2 weeks, an hour before they go and purchase the token of project number 3. Project number 3 was the one that won the vote. Guess what's going to happen? You, me, we are going to know what project won the vote. We will have an hour head start. I mean, what if, and I got this from Brian, all right, on one of the Zooms, and I loved it and I wrote it down. So Brian, I'm giving you credit one time for it, okay? All right. He said, what if for one time in your life, you knew for certain something was going to transpire. Well, in our case, it's every 2 weeks to start, maybe every week thereafter. Who knows? As we get bigger and bigger. Meaning, we know by holding at least $50 worth of Sosana in our wallets, we'll be able to vote one. We'll be able to find out what project won the vote, whether we voted or not. We'll know what project won the vote. Okay, that's one. We'll know what project won the vote an hour before they take whatever's in that wallet to go and purchase the tokens. Okay, and what does that mean? If I know an hour before, not only will I know what project won the vote, you and I, every community member that has at least $50 worth of tokens, we're going to all know how much is in that wallet that's about to go and purchase said token. Is it a few thousand? Is it a few tens of thousands? Is it a 100,000? Is it more? So now what am I going to do that hour that I have? All right, I'm going to quickly go in, check out that token. Check out the project. Ooh, like the project. And before this, I'm telling what I'm going to do. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not giving you advice. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do before Sosana goes and purchases that token. Guess who's going to be in line purchasing that token first? Old bald head dude. You better believe it. So what does that allow me to do? And I'm speaking in those terms because I don't want it to come across that I'm giving you any legal advice or financial advice, because I'm not any of that kind of stuff. All right. I'm telling you what I'm going to do. And if you choose to do it on your own, that's totally up to you, because you're all big boys and big girls. Okay. So I want you to imagine the larger we grow, the more is going to be in that wallet, because there's going to be more and 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 more buy and sales and transfers and buy and sales and transfers. And every single buy, every single sale, every single transfer, 3% tax. You see why I say I love my Sosana taxes, knowing that 1% of the 3% goes over to the wallet. I may just call it that, the wallet, the voting wallet. All right. And that's going to be dispersed. But whether you and I vote for the winning project or not, we will know an hour before time. And then we'll be able, if we choose, to go and buy that token before the avalanche comes and buys the token. Now, what might that do to the token price? I tell you what, how about we go do this? How about we go and watch Lil Mark, okay? Walk us through, I say Lil Mark. Mark Ross is one of the co-founders of the company, and there's this very cute caricature of him as he talked about what happened with the first vote when everything was in beta. So let's go to Lil Mark.
What's up, Sosana family and all you Degens out there in the Solana network? Sosana just made history. Our first ever community voting round is officially in the books, and it was representative of the beginning of something that is going to grow and become what we believe is so special. A few small glitches, sure, but overall the basic functions of the system worked like a charm. Hats off to our great developer and to David Track and all the work they put in to make this happen. Let's take you through the action and show you how real utility just met real results. Right here you're seeing the nominate and voter board, where all the tokens nominated by the community were revealed. Then, just like that, the nominations vanish as the round officially closes. That's the moment we shift into results. Now the top 10 tokens are revealed, and the winner, Shift AI took the crown, backed by strong community support. We now drop into the deck screener by pasting in the contract address for Shift.ai. And check this out. You can literally see where the Degen voter bonus wallet made its purchase. The first purchase in Sosana history, making crypto history worldwide. That green candle spike right there, that's the result of the vote, and that's power in motion. Now, let that sink in. We are still so early. Imagine what kind of chart movement this will create when we've got thousands of holders and voters behind each round. This is just the beginning. Next, we take a look at Shift.ai's Twitter profile. These guys are building AI solutions for Web3, merging decentralized tech with real-time data-driven insights. Their site looks tight, clean, forward-thinking, exactly the kind of quality project our community is here to discover and elevate. Projects like this get overlooked, but not anymore. With Sosana, we give deserving teams visibility, and we reward the communities behind them. Back to the chart. There's that spike again. That was us. And if we can do that now, think about the momentum we'll have in the weeks and months ahead. Now we're back to the DApp, and round 2 has already begun. Nominations are open. A brand new cycle has started. Let's go again. Here's one last look at the top 10 from round 1. You can even see the wallet address of the nominator who submitted Shift.ai. Pure transparency, total community-driven movement. And this right here, that chart, that's what happens when a project wins a Sosana vote. That's real impact from real people in real time, straight from our community to theirs. But this is just the start. With every vote, every round, every reward, we're building something revolutionary. Not just hype, but real rewarding utility for the Solana ecosystem. So if you're already holding Sosana, get ready. If you're not, what are you waiting for? Nominate, vote, win, repeat. Unlike any other meme project, at Sosana there's always something new and exciting every voting round. It doesn't get boring here, it just grows and gets better. This is how Degens take over the right way. Let's go.
Okay, beautiful people. Thanks, Lil Mark. All right, listen. I want to walk you through just how potent this voting process is. So understand for the cryptocurrency community, the voting apparatus helps to bring those projects, those really good projects, the cream rising to the top. Okay, there's going to be so many of these projects that are going to want to partner, almost like a joint venture with Sosana from this standpoint. All right. They have their project nominated, and let's say their project wins, and they see results like this happening to the price of their token. Why wouldn't they want to lock arms? They may now, for instance, introduce their community to Sosana. Now, what might that do? That might have more people having now eyeballs on Sosana, as Sosana helped to get more eyeballs onto their project. Now, why is that important? Because now there's more people finding out about Sosana, buying the Sosana token, helping to increase the value of the Sosana token, of which you and me and we, let's say, are Sosana token holders. So we've got a stake in everything that's going on. And with every purchase, every sale, every transfer, what happens? More money going over to that voter pool, that voter wallet. Now, here's what I want us to get, okay? This is a 15-minute chart. What that means, all right, is that every one of these, we call them candles in the trading world, okay? Every one of these represents a 15-minute time frame. So we're going to know 60 minutes, an hour before Sosana makes this purchase right here. So what does that mean? If we count back 4 candles, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is when we would have known who won the vote. All right. Now let's take a look at the pricing of Shift before this huge spike. Well, an hour previous to that, the pricing was, gosh, hard to see exactly. All right, but it's above this, below this. So how about we just kind of go in the middle here? Okay. All right. So that would represent about 0.00010, and I'll say 25 because it's about halfway between here and here. All right. Okay. So I'm going to assume in this hypothetical, meaning it's not real because I was not there, I was not a part of the beta scenario. You got all my disclaimers. I'm going to assume that I went and I purchased some of Shift AI an hour before, and I got it for 0.00010, let's call it 25. I'm going to further assume that I at least kept it through here. Now I will tell you what my plan will be to, I want to hold on to some tokens. I may take some profits, but I don't want to just pump and dump. All right. Because I don't want anybody doing that to Sosana. All right. So I may take some profits, but let me just show you what this could have meant. All right. So let me bring up my calculator. I think I've got to lower this to bring up my calculator. Give me a moment. Okay, so let's say that I took $1,000. Okay. Now, I'm not suggesting you take $1,000 or $100 or $10. All right. And I likely won't start off doing $1,000 for these projects, but my goal is to get to the point where I could peel off $1,000 and not affect me whatsoever. So even if the project, let's say, people, they got the token and they bought some of the token, and then it goes up and they sold everything and the token goes all the way back to where I got it from. It's not going to hurt me. All right. So I'm going to use $1,000 purchase in this example. I'm going to use $1,000 purchase in this example. All right. All right. So let's say I purchased $1,000 worth. And at the time it was going for 0.000. Let's see how many, make sure I got my zeros right. 1, 2, 3. 1025. All right. So this is going to tell me how many of these I could have purchased with $1,000. It could be 1,000. It could be 10. It could be $5. All right. Whatever makes sense for you. I'm just projecting where I want to be. Okay. All right. So that would mean I'd have 9.75 million tokens of Shift.ai. So they must have a huge token supply. Okay. So let's put that in my memory. Okay. So now, what did it go up to? It went up to 0.0001379. All right. And remember, in my example, I'm going to subtract out what I could have purchased it for, 0.000. Make sure I got all my zeros. 1025. Okay. So this would have been my profit per token. Far less than a tenth of a penny or a hundredth of a penny or what have you. Well, whoop-de-doo, what's the big deal? Well, let's multiply this times, in my example, I bought 9.7 million with $1,000. Look at this. I would have made $345. If all I did was bought it, and even though this is not what I plan to do, if I had bought it and then immediately sold it, my $1,000 worth would have generated $345 if I had bought it, which I'm not going to do. I'm not looking to pump and dump. I'm not looking to buy and sell everything. All right. I may buy and sell some, but I'm not looking to buy and sell everything, because what if this project, so you see the $345 that could have been made, that was $1,000 making about a 34% return. Okay. And obviously, this is a scenario. All right. Well, what if I had $100? All right. That would have been about $34.50. So if you took $100 and now you're up $34.50 on that $100, is that a good deal? If you took $10 and all of a sudden you're up $3.45 on that, okay? And what may happen going forward as we get larger and larger, who knows what this could look like? Okay? So you're seeing not only am I looking to build my Sosana portfolio, I'm looking to build a portfolio of other tokens. In some cases, I may win the vote, or I may vote for the winning project and get free tokens. And even if that were to happen, you know what I would do if I was one of the ones that was going to get the free tokens because I voted for the winning project? I'm still going to look to front run Sosana. Why? Because this would be my tokens that are being delivered to me. This is where I could have purchased some tokens as a forerunner. Okay. All right. So now I think you got that. I think you got that. I want to take a look at one last thing here. We're going to go to coinmarketcap.com. Coinmarketcap.com. This is my go-to site. And I'm going to come under memes. And I want us to look at some of the volumes. All right. So now, when you come here, you'll see something called market cap. And what market cap represents is the monetary value of this token based on what? Based on the token's circulating supply times the prevailing price. That gives you the market cap. So right now in the meme coin space, of which we are part of that niche, okay, the first meme coin, the dog coin, Dogecoin, all right, is the number one meme coin right now. All right. We're not trying to compete against any of these, but I want you to see something. Then you're going to see the 24-hour volume. Now, what's that? That's the transactional volume. That's people in the marketplace buying the asset. That's people in the marketplace selling the asset. Now, remember, when someone buys Sosana, sells Sosana, transfers Sosana, there's a 3% tax, and 1/3 of that 3% tax, or 1%, goes into the voter pool. All right. What I want us to do is I want us to look down through here, and you're going to see, I mean, my gosh, for the last 24 hours, Dogecoin has had $2.3 billion in transactions. Now, if that were Sosana, we're not there yet, okay? Could you imagine 1% of $2.3 billion? And this was in a 24-hour period. So remember that the voter wallet, what's going to purchase the tokens, all right, that will then airdrop those tokens to those that won the vote, all right, or voted for the winning project, all right? But what excites me even more is, I may not vote for the winning project, but I'm going to be there an hour before. You better believe that. I'm going to find my way. I'm not going to have anything scheduled for that hour before, because I'm going to be there going in to buy some tokens of that winning project. Okay. So now that's the granddaddy of them all. Let's take a look at some of these other ones. You got 264 million in 24 hours, 793 million in 24 hours, 788, 935. We're in the millions. 352, 120, 154, 267. Over here, you've got the ranking on CoinMarketCap. Okay. Uh, as judged by market cap. But right now we're looking at the volume because I want you to see just how many of these meme coin projects do multiple millions of dollars in volume, buys and sells and buys and sells every single day. Um, we will probably have to go a long way to find anything. Here's something that's less than 10 million a day. I don't think we've seen anything so far less than 10 million a day. Okay. Or at least in the last 24 hours. Okay. So there's one at 6.4 million, but we're right back up 149 million, 18.7 million. All right. Here's one finally. Here's one that did 807,000 in the last 24 in the last 24 hours. I'm sorry, yeah, in the last 24 hours. Now let me just go out and guys, nobody can promise any of this kind of stuff, okay? What I want you to see is that there are lots of meme coins. Most of these likely have little to no utility, but there's lots of meme coins that are doing a million or more a day in volume. Now, I'm not saying we're going to come out of the gate doing a million or more a day, but I do believe the day will come where we'll be doing a million or more a day in transactional volume, buys and sales, buys and sales. Can I promise that? Obviously not. Okay. And again, as you see here, we've only seen that one asset so far at 803 that's done less than a million. We're at 206 on coin market cap as it relates to market cap, overall market cap. Okay. So even here, 2.7 million, 7.6 million. All right. So can I safely say, gosh, 100 million? My gosh. Can I safely say that we could be just a speck in the entire cryptocurrency space, in the entire meme coin space, if we were doing $1 million in transactional volume on a daily basis? All right. Now, are we going to start there? Maybe not. All right. But do I see us building to that? Sorry, I'm having a problem with my calculator. Yeah, and more. Again, you can see so many of these are, oh, we finally hit something that is 155,000 in transactional volume in a 24-hour period. Let's say we're doing a million a day. Okay. And let's say on average, over 14 days. Okay. That's 14 million in volume. And we know 3% is going to be the tax. So let me go and put that in my. So we know that that would be $420,000 in taxes. Now, in the coming modules, I'm going to talk about, well, where does the rest of that go? Right now, 1% of the 3% tax, or 1/3, is going into the voter wallet. Okay. Then we'll talk about 1/3 relegated for marketing, and a portion of that going for what we call pre-launch tokens that will be available for those of us that have the Community Hub membership, which I'm going to strongly recommend that you get that membership. Okay. And then we'll do another module on how 1/3 of that, 1% of the 3%, goes into what's called liquidity pools. You got to get that so you understand why that's so important. But for right now, let's just deal with the voter wallet. Okay. So in this example, let's say in time, we're doing $1 million a day in volume, transactional volume, buys, sales. Okay. Let's even include transfers, 3%. All right. And if we did that over a 14-day voting cycle, that would put 420,000, the 3% of 14 million, in taxes. 1/3 of this is going to be in the voter pool. Okay. Now, What I just showed you with Lil Mark, this right here, this right here was based on about $4,000 going to buy the Shift AI token. $4,000. This right here saying, what if we get to the point that $1 million a day in transactional volume is happening? All right. So that over a 14-day period, because we are going to be voting every 2 weeks, what accrued in the voter wallet was about $140,000. This was 4,000. This is what could happen if we get to $1 million a day. But remember, I'm talking about in transactional volume, but remember this now, okay? We had to come down to the 298th asset in CoinMarketCap to find an asset that was trading well under $1 million in the last 24 hours. You know, this asset, look, this is a $130 million market cap. Not $1 billion market cap yet, but it's doing 55 million a day. Here's a $129 million market cap, and it did 49 million in transactional volume. This one here, this is crazy to me. $118 million market cap, million in transactional volume in the last 24 hours. Are you seeing just how big just 1% of the 3% taxes that goes to the voter pool, the voter wallet, can be? All right, so listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure where you're seeing this. You might be seeing this on social media. All right. If so, whoever sent this to you, if you're seeing it on YouTube, you know, you like the content, leave some sterling remarks. Now, I want to make sure, however, that you're connecting to the person that got this content to you. Maybe I'm not the one that got you this content. Well, then I want you aligning with Sosana, because there is an optional affiliate program. I want you aligning with the person that got this content to you. Okay. Now, you might be seeing this on one of the pages that we develop for our community. And, you know, anybody can join our community if you find value in how we cover things, how we communicate and educate and all that good stuff. We've got a free portal. We call it the Cashflow Club portal. And inside that portal, we will have content like this that users of our portal can now use that type of content to share with other people. And the call to action is always for that person to do business directly with them. So if you're inside of, I'm sorry, if you're seeing this where there's a call to action to get a free portal, get the free portal. You'll be connected to the person that sent you to this content. Obviously, if you're already in our free portal, this is under our masterclass section, or at least it will be under our masterclass section. There, you'll be able to easily find all modules related to this I Love Sosana Taxes 4-module series, and then other content that we have. And a lot of that content you can also give away to share the messaging of Sosana to help build out your affiliate network. All right. With that being said, we love each and every one of you. Look forward to the next module. We've got a 3rd module in this 4-module series. We'll talk about that in the next module itself. We love each and every one of you. Let's transform this world together, starting with yours.